Hi everyone, my name is Twinkle and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In my previous videos, I explained you in detail first is how to make a resume for a cabin crew position right from the scratch, and in my second video, I told you how to actually modify your current resume to an ATS proof resume with regards to a video interview or online submission of your resume. And in this video, I'm going to tell you a few very common, frequently done mistakes which should never be done in your resume. These things are very little, very tiny, can be very common. You might have also done in your resume, but nobody must have told you about them. But if you haven't made a resume and you are thinking of making one, please make sure that you avoid these mistakes that I'm going to tell you now. But before that, what you're gonna do, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead, subscribe the channel, like and share this video as much as you can, and also press the bell notification button so that you don't miss any new videos by me. And on that note, let's start the video. Grammar and spelling mistakes. I know some of you might be thinking that, isn't it like obvious? Who does that? Who does not proofread their resume? But let me tell you that this is the most common, frequently done, and probably the worst mistake that you can do in your resume. Imagine you're writing and presenting yourself to your recruiters. Apparently, you're applying for your dream job or any other job which is really important to you. And you're leaving an impression that this resume is not that important, that you went ahead, did not proofread it, and there were spelling mistakes. Think of it. What impression are you leaving on the recruiter? Therefore, it is very important for you to proofread the resume before submitting it or before even printing it. I know most of the times we ourselves are not able to make out any mistakes we have done because we have been engrossed in that thing so much that we actually miss out on these tiny little details. So in that case, get someone else to do that for you. 2 pairs of eyes are always better than 1. You ask someone who is better in English, communication skills, or anyone else to do that for you. Or if you don't have that anyone else, what you can do is print it out in a paper, read it aloud. See if you find something difficult in there, or you fumble, or if you see anything incorrect, correct it. Or if you don't want to do these two ways, you can do it online. You can use apps like Grammarly, you can use apps like Paperator and SlickWrite to proofread your resume. Incomplete or missing information. Imagine you getting selected by the recruiters and then they being unable to contact you because you forgot to provide them with one. And on top of it, think about the impression that you're going to leave on those recruiters. Therefore, be very careful about not just providing your contact information but also providing them correct, especially your contact number and your email IDs. Recheck, proofread again and again these kind of very important and sensitive informations where it is highly likely for you to commit a mistake because there are numbers, symbols, dots, things like these involved. And it is normal and it is very frequently seen that we make mistakes. We omit numbers and words, especially in information like these. Also, be very careful about the location and the format you're using. Make sure that you are putting your contact information in a location which is easily accessible. For me, put it right on top in the center. That is the most important information for a recruiter any day because they shouldn't be taking any time to locate it. Remember, 6 seconds, that is all they have. And if they cannot find your contact information, then be it. There are a lot of people who are waiting to get selected with full information and correct information. Unprofessional email IDs. It is okay to use quirky and interesting kind of emails in school, colleges, or maybe your social media profiles to sound very cool and hippie. But you might come across as only very unprofessional if you do that in case of your job application. So make sure that you do not choose email IDs like cool, daddy cool or daddy's princess, etc. in your professional resumes. Please do yourself a favor and choose professional email IDs, preferably having your name or initials in them. It sounds more professional and personal, including irrelevant information. Avoid providing irrelevant and outdated information which is not adding any value and does not make any sense to add in your resume. Your age, gender, marital status, etc. because it is not required. Also, hobbies which are not adding any value or are relevant to your job or are not supporting your job applications should be avoided at all times. For example, if you take the example of a cabin crew job, don't write listening to music or watching Netflix or cooking because it is not supporting your job role. Also, very common example of a different kind of irrelevant and unwanted information is having a lot of experience like 7-8 years and elaborating your education section a lot, merely because it is not the point of interest at this point now. The recruiter does not want to know your education when you already have 8 years of experience in a field. I'd rather go ahead and elaborate the experience and achievements, skills and areas of expertise in your current job role. Typically, unless it isn't supporting your job role, it doesn't belong to your resume. Headshot. Well, unless it is clearly stated that the position or the job application requires you to submit a picture, a photograph or a passport size photograph for your resume, avoid using it. In most of the cases, the airlines especially will tell you the specifications and the requirement, if at all it is required to submit with a resume or to upload online. And if you do, make sure you follow things like format, if it is JPG or PNG image, check the resolution, the clarity, the specifics, and make sure that you follow them. Have something which is professional. And never choose a picture which looks interesting and cool to you. Here we only need something professional because it can make or break your job interview. Format or design is too elaborate. Now when it comes to your resume, I've always said this and stick to this point that it should be clear, crisp, short. Remember, less is more and professional. So avoid using charts, images, graphics to enhance your resume because it is clearly not doing the job. Anything which makes the recruiter take longer time to understand and read the relevant information is going to irritate them at a given point of time. And the chances are that the time of 6 seconds is not enough to get the right worth of your resume. Also, using a lot of bullet points and using big paragraphs like boring and long lists and lengthy resumes, things like that might make the recruiter disinterested in your resume. Instead, use bullet points where required and short paragraphs to keep it crisp, like in note making. And do not try to just make it lengthy just for the sake of it. Using repetitive words and phrases. Now, when a recruiter reads the same words and phrases over and over again in your resume, it becomes redundant. You might come across as someone who's totally not bothered, least interested, or just too lazy to use a variation of words in your work specifics of a job role. Using the repetitive words and phrases. When a recruiter reads same words or phrases in a resume, it becomes redundant. It just comes across as the candidate was not bothered at all, least interested, or was too lazy to add a variation of work specifics to its job role. However, don't just stuff unnatural keywords to your resume which does not make sense. Do your research, try to find out job descriptions and pull out the words which are most relevant to your position, and then try to incorporate them in your resume so that they flow naturally and also make sense. Always remember, your resume needs to be in sync with your profile. If you can't speak to your experience with the skill that your keywords portray in your resume, then it probably doesn't belong on it. And that's all for this video. I hope you found this video short, crisp and very helpful, and that you will always remember these few points whenever you're writing your next resume. On that note, I will see you in my next video. But before that, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, like, share, do whatever you can with this video. And also, if you want, you can follow me on my Instagram handle. I will leave it in the description box. I will see you in my next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.